Lisa, my love, the bread we have isn't really good. Could you possibly fix it? What's wrong with it? You might wonder. Perhaps a new oven could solve our problem. I've seen some fantastic ones for sale recently. Sure, I'll discuss it with Mrs. Emily. My name is Lisa Ray, and I'm 35 years old. I trade Forex from home as my full-time job. I met my husband, Cian, who is 2 years older than me, when we both worked at a small mail order company. He worked with pet food, and I was in customer service for cosmetics. It was a demanding job, often keeping us at work late, but we looked forward to unwinding with coworkers over drinks once a week. Despite the grind and the decent paycheck, our only real joy came from these small gatherings. It was during these times Cian and I began dating, and we got married 3 years later. After getting married, I took a break from work and soon discovered Forex trading. I dove into learning everything I could, buying books and practicing online. It wasn't easy, but I dedicated myself to it, eventually developing a successful trading strategy. However, my in-laws, who now live with us, don't quite understand what I do. When my father-in-law retired and considering their limited pension, my husband suggested they move in with us into our 3-bedroom condo, which I now pay for thanks to my Forex trading income. We've assured them they're welcome and not to worry about expenses. I don't bother with household chores. We have a housekeeping service for that. Mrs. Emily takes care of everything, including cooking, which is a huge help for us. I dedicate my days to mastering Forex trading and sharing my insights on blogs rather than tackling household chores. However, my in-laws were initially understanding when they moved in. Their attitude shifted after a couple of months. They started to question why I, being always at home, didn't engage in any housework, labeling my job as mere gambling and a trivial pursuit in front of a computer. These complaints were never directly addressed to me, but I sensed their discontent through the indirect remarks they made to my husband. Since my husband no longer needs to worry about rent or living costs, thanks to my trading income, he has indulged in his love for fashion, donning custom suits and brand-name accessories. His newfound freedom to spend on luxuries has made him quite happy. He used to defend me against any grievances from my in-laws, but that has recently changed. He started critiquing me for always being on my computer, not wearing makeup, and sticking to sweatpants around the house, suggesting I should dress up more appealingly at home. This took me by surprise. Why should I dress up and wear makeup just to stay home? It led to a disagreement between us, with him expressing a desire for me to look more cute for him, a notion I found unnecessary and odd. Following this discussion, I noticed my husband began to echo my in-laws' complaints about me. One evening, I accidentally overheard a conversation among them criticizing my supposed arrogance and indifference to household chores. They speculated that I looked down on them for their previous living situation and believed I considered myself superior because of my income from Forex trading, which they dismissed as simple luck that anyone could replicate. They even went as far as to mock my appearance, questioning my self-worth. This entire situation has highlighted a rift in understanding and appreciation for what I do and the financial contributions I make to our household, casting a shadow over the dynamics within our family. I've been working from home for a while now, cherishing the mornings when my husband and I could enjoy breakfast together before he headed off to his job at the company where we both used to work. Unfortunately, he starts his day quite early, which means he often comes back late. Our breakfasts were a precious time for us. Yet recently, he's begun skipping them, claiming he'd rather eat on the go or not at all. This change didn't go unnoticed by my mother-in-law, who criticized my husband's new habit with a sneer, suggesting that he was growing tired of having a wife who didn't perform her duties. I found this remark outdated, especially since Mrs. Emily handles all our household chores efficiently, ensuring everything is in perfect order. My rebuttal that the concept of wife duties is outdated sparked a disagreement, particularly with my mother-in-law, who holds traditional views very dear. She couldn't understand my perspective, emphasizing the importance of fulfilling these roles regardless of our arrangements for housework. The fact that I was financing it didn't seem to matter to her. She believed that bringing up financial contributions was inappropriate. I noticed my in-laws have been living quite comfortably without the worry of expenses, thanks to my financial support. My mother-in-law, for instance, often socializes with neighbors, flaunting expensive designer bags, while my father-in-law dedicates a significant portion of his pension to his golfing passion, even purchasing new golf clubs. This spending puzzled me, given that I was covering all household costs, including rent. However, with nowhere else for my in-laws to go, I felt compelled to tolerate the situation. Around a month after my husband began missing our breakfasts, he started traveling more for work, involved in a project to import leads from Thailand. These trips became increasingly frequent, often extending over weekends. As he ventured abroad, I was left to ponder the shifting dynamics of our household and the challenges of balancing personal ambitions with family expectations. I had plans to grab lunch with my friend Shirley at an upscale Italian restaurant we both enjoyed. It was a place I had visited before with Cian, my husband. However, during our meal, as we were enjoying some wine, Shirley pointed out Cian exiting the restaurant with a woman. This was shocking because he was supposed to be on a business trip to Thailand. The woman with him was notably younger, and the sight reignited Cian's earlier remarks about wanting me to look cute for him. The realization that Cian might be unfaithful led me to hire a private investigator to look into his actions. Meanwhile, at home, I noticed an increase in packages arriving for my mother-in-law. When I asked her about it, she defensively asked if she needed my permission to shop. It turned out she had developed a penchant for online shopping, particularly for designer bags and accessories. However, her excitement seemed misguided, as many online deals are too good to be true, often resulting in fake products. One day, she came to me with a concern about her latest haul 5 bags she bought at a suspiciously low price, fearing they might be counterfeit. Indeed, upon inspection, the bags were clearly imitations. I advised her to attempt a return, but contact with the seller proved impossible. The phone number was disconnected, and emails went unanswered. She had spent $3,000 through a bank transfer on a site that seemed legitimate, but offered designer items at unrealistically low prices, with no option for cancellations or refunds through her bank. I warned her about the risks of buying designer goods online, especially when the deals seemed too good to be true. However, my advice seemed to fall on deaf ears as she dismissed my concerns, highlighting a gap in understanding the nuances of online shopping and the importance of caution. After a peaceful dinner on Sunday, my work on Forex trading was abruptly interrupted by my father-in-law. He had recently been golfing with old friends who shared some skepticism about Forex trading, painting it as a scam filled with deceitful promises of easy money. His confrontation was based on misinformation, assuming that since I was involved in Forex, I might be engaging in similar deceptive practices. Despite my explanations, he doubted my integrity, thinking my success was too good to be true, especially since he saw his own efforts in business as more legitimate hard work. I tried to assure him that my trading activities were legitimate and that I wasn't duping anyone, but my explanations fell on deaf ears. He even questioned if we could manage our expenses without my Forex income, to which he confidently claimed he could cover at least the rent. This discussion highlighted a lack of understanding and appreciation for the financial stability my trading provided us. The next day brought more distress as the results from the private detective confirmed my husband Cian's affair with a younger coworker, a woman I hadn't met since she joined the company after I left. Amidst processing this betrayal, my situation at home reached a boiling point. That evening, after the housekeeping service had left, my mother-in-law declared a shocking ultimatum. She, along with Cian and my father-in-law, expressed their collective disdain for me, questioning the morality of my income and criticizing my personality. They demanded I leave, preferring to live without the financial support I provided, which they now viewed as tainted. This confrontation, before Cian even came home from work, signaled a clear end to our family dynamic, pushing me towards an inevitable decision about our marriage and my future in the household. Feeling an unexpected sense of relief upon hearing their demands, I realized that my husband's absence signified the end of any emotional connection between us. It dawned on me that I had no obligation to care for these people who failed to appreciate my contributions. That very day, I packed my belongings and sought refuge in a hotel, marking the start of my independence. The discovery of my husband's affair facilitated a swift divorce process, during which I secured alimony, a testament to my newfound assertiveness. I found solace in a one-bedroom apartment, an ideal sanctuary for a fresh start, and shifted the lease of our shared apartment to my ex-husband, effectively severing our household ties. Months later, my ex-husband reached out, seeking a meeting at my new place, a request that filled me with apprehension. His arrival, accompanied by my former in-laws, confirmed my suspicions of their desperate circumstances. Amid tears, my ex-husband pleaded for reconciliation, revealing their dire financial straits due to an inability to afford their rent, a predicament that left them on the brink of eviction. The root of their woes traced back to my ex-husband's ill-fated venture into the LED import business. His investment in defective Thailand LED lights resulted in a catastrophic failure, compounded by communication issues and contractual ambiguities that prevented any recourse. His subsequent attempt to salvage his finances through forex trading, without the necessary knowledge or preparation, ended in disaster, draining his remaining savings. Meanwhile, my ex-father-in-law's venture into the stock market, driven by a similar hope for quick gains, also collapsed, leaving them financially destitute. Confronted with their pleas for assistance, I couldn't help but question the whereabouts of my ex-husband's younger companion, highlighting the irony of their situation. Their fall from grace underscored a harsh lesson in responsibility and the consequences of unwise financial decisions, leaving them in a predicament of their own making, far removed from the stability and support they once took for granted in our shared life. He admitted to losing touch with his younger girlfriend, rationalizing that there was no allure for her to remain with someone who had lost his job. In a desperate bid for redemption, he appealed to me, proclaiming I was the one he truly needed and suggesting we remarry. His family echoed his sentiments, apologizing for their past misconceptions and the unjust accusations they had levied against me, particularly concerning my forex trading activities. They expressed regret, hoping for forgiveness and a second chance to restore our family unit. However, I firmly rejected their pleas. Despite their assurances of change, including promises from my ex-husband to remain faithful, my resolve was unwavering. I made it clear that any further persistence on their part would compel me to involve the police. They left, heavy-hearted and without hope. Their subsequent attempts to contact me, begging for reconciliation, were consistently denied. The fate of my ex-husband and his parents no longer concerns me. I've chosen to sever ties completely. Yet, in the solitude of my continued success as a trader, I felt the stirrings of loneliness. Seeking companionship, I confided in my friend Shirley, who has kindly offered to introduce me to someone new. We've arranged to meet this person tomorrow, and I find myself eager for this fresh beginning, hopeful for what the future may bring.